Welcome to the People Profit Podcast, where we uncover leadership strategies that nurture people to foster genuine growth and organizational success. I'm Sandra Coker, CEO of Human Power Solutions and the author of the best-selling book, People Profit. And today we're going deep into holistic coaching, how aligning body, mind, and soul through clarity and flow can transform personal fulfillment, prevent burnout, and elevate team performance. Our guest today, I'm so excited, is Ivo Knoll. He's the founder and lead architect of the Clarity Flow system at Knoll Coaching. With a focus on customized individual support for personal development, Ivo guides clients through emotional journeys to rewrite those limiting beliefs and achieve doable goals and realize a fulfilled life. His approach integrates safety, comfort, and profound behavior understanding to create lasting change. Ivo, welcome to the show. We are thrilled to explore your holistic philosophy.
Thank you, Sandra, for having me here. I'm really so pumped to share everything with you and with your audience. Thank you.
I'm excited. So, Ivo, you and I are part of a mastermind together, and we actually got to see each other not too long ago. And it was so great to see you. And I'm so excited to share with our audience everything that you've got going on. It's exciting. Okay. So, if Ivo's insights spark a deeper understanding for your leadership, please hit the like, subscribe, share, and follow button to this podcast. Your support brings more transformative conversations to life. You ready to go, Ivo?
I'm full ready.
Awesome. So I first want to kind of open up with your role at Knoll Coaching. Obviously, it's your business, right? And you emphasize that holistic personal development approach, addressing mind, body, and soul. Can you walk us through your journey about, how you got here?
It's at the first moment you might think it's about a wide journey because it's shifting from here to there. But at the end, you see that everything aligns together. So I grew up in a little town in northern part of Italy, in South Tyrol, and there I learned values. So people there do what they say. And if you have a commitment, you just do it. And then I went to university in Graz in Austria for electrical engineering. And there I learned math and systems and how to do it and imagining complexity and understanding things. I was taught to understand things. And then I went to international project management. And project management is the greater thing. You're responsible for an outcome, but you don't have the leverage on the people you're leading. So you need to develop true leader skills because you not can force them and say, I'm above you and I told you to do this, so you have to do it or you're fired. You cannot fire anybody. So it's true leadership, but you learn there or you die.
Yeah.
Then I was good and was project getting bigger and bigger. So I moved up to corporate management and it was a great goal of mine, earning a lot of money, having a big status and being in management. And suddenly they told me, oh, we like you, but we don't need you anymore. So they dropped me off. And since I was in management, I had 4 months to think, what am I doing now? And I so remember the moment I was sitting in our garden, it was September, and I was smelling this scent of white fruits and grass and soil. And I got calm, which didn't happen for me for a long time. And since I was commuting from Monday to Friday and didn't see my family only on weekends, I was sitting there and suddenly the question popped up, what does truly matter to me? And in the same moment, I want to see my kids growing up because they were 8 and 9 at that time. And I realized we're living in southern part of Kosovo. It's beautiful. It's high level and quality of life, but there's no business, Usually either you have good business opportunity or high quality of life. So we split at that. I was there where the business was, and my family was there where high quality of life was. So I was sure that if I want to do what popped me up, I couldn't do what I was taught to, what I was good at, all my skills.
Oh my gosh.
And
wow.
because I knew I wanted to be with my kids when they had birthday, not on Sunday before, Sunday afterwards, right on the day. I
Right.
wanted to be part of their life when they had something at school, a sports event or something. I would want to be there because I knew it was only 10 more years maximum when they
Right.
left house, about with 18, 19 years old, which most do. And then I said, so what now? And
Mm.
then came a big shift. I decided I become an organic farmer. And I had no background in farming, not at all.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I just knew I love to work in nature. I like to reconnect in nature. And then this was a rabbit hole for me. I dived into because I knew I can learn a lot of things in a short amount of time.
Hmm.
So there I learned systems. You
Okay.
know, this is the difference between complexity and complicated things. A
Yeah.
plane or iPhone is complicated. Always, when you start with 1, 2, 3, the result is always 4 or 5.
Right.
Always. But complex system with nature or human beings like you and me are. We are complex. We are now different than in 5 minutes. And what it works now might not work in 5 minutes. So this was the epiphany for me because I would ask one organic farmer, tell me, how are you doing it? And so, come to me and show you. And she showed me the 1, 2, 3. And then she said, okay, I see it. It works perfect. And then the second farmer, how are you doing it? I said, okay, show you these steps. And then this is the result. I said, okay, perfect. But they're complete opposite. And both is
Mm.
working. How can this be? In my engineering mind, it
Yeah.
was not possible. And then I realized, wait, that's the difference between complexity and complicated systems.
Hmm. Interesting.
And
So did
complexity
that, sorry, but is that what influenced the clarity flow system? Is that kind of where
extremely.
it all just kind of came through? So talk a
Ex-
little, so bring that home to there.
So now many people are afraid of complex systems because if you change something here, something happens here, and you didn't want that.
Yeah.
Because most people deal with symptoms. But the interesting thing with complex system is if you go deep to the root, you need to do that. It's hard work. If you go to the root and you make a tiny change, then everything flourishes. And this is what I realized with people as well. That's why my approach is so holistic, because many people say, I have too little time. I need more motivation. I need more consequences. I need more this and that and time management and all these things. Doesn't work. There are good
Mm,
techniques, but
yeah.
if they don't fit to you, in your situation, it doesn't work. The best technique can't work. And so many
Yeah.
people are like sports cars with tiny uh, roads like for bicycle
Yeah.
wheels.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they
Yeah.
need say, I have a huge, nice designed sports car in shiny, but I can put the traction on the road. How can it be? Yes, because you're changing systems. And
Mm,
here a little bit and it doesn't work. But it's good for business and coaching,
yeah.
We give you motivation, we give you a webinar, we give you this, we give you that. And your customer forever, all the time, you're dependent.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you work together with, I like what you working do, this stepping into the people.
Hmm.
And if you dive deep into it and make an analysis, and then only tiny changes, I mean, not big changes, tiny changes. And then
Yeah.
everything changes. And it's easy, it's fun, it's ease. This is what
Yeah.
everything is looking for in the life. It's alignment.
So that's so insightful. That just really gets you really thinking about, how you approach work and life and all of that. So I want to dig a little bit deeper. So your approach with your clients, it helps to create safety and comfort, right? To help people engage fully. How do challenges like mental stagnation or life transition influence this system's emphasis on rewriting stories?
It emphasis very strong and is a huge impact because, especially in these moments of crisis, when people fall back to what they truly are.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
many people have built a shiny life, a perfect life, a successful life,
Yeah.
And they're climbing the ladder, and suddenly they realize, oh, probably it's wrong on the wrong wall.
Yeah.
I'm high on the ladder, but is this my wall? This is where I want to be. This is where success feels void inside, you know?
Yeah.
And this is where people don't talk about it. I see it so
Mm-hmm.
many times. They're something like, I have everything I wanted, but still I'm not happy. They told
Yeah.
me, do this, do that, go to university, have a good job, make a career,
Yeah.
have a partner, have a dog, have a car, have a house. No, have everything, check, 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 check. And you think,
Right.
so now what? I'm still not happy.
Yeah. Gosh, that just resonates so much with, I think, with so many of us in our generation that just was, we were just clicking the boxes as we went through college and all of that. And I love that. So your coaching really, when you think about the individuals that you coach, it's you work with pretty diverse clients, those seeking like life's meaning to leaders facing burnout. So talk about the philosophy that you have of like self-initiated change over waiting for these opportunities to show up to make a difference in your life. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure, I'd like to. You know, it apparently seems that they're so different people, but they only have the same situation. They lost who they truly are.
Hmm.
And the people already know that. They have this inner feeling. They cover it with distractions, some getting even more busier,
Yeah.
some being more perfectionist, some with distraction with sports, with dangerous sports even, or
Hmm.
with alcohol, with drugs, or with social media. Everybody has their own way of distraction. But at the moment when the pain gets too high and you realize, I don't want to continue this way, that's
Yeah.
where they come to the point, and that's where we can start to go deeper. I'm not cannot work if somebody wants. I want to make more money. I want to be happy in life. I want to do this more, something
Yeah.
maximizing. And if you are good at maths, you know that maximizing is the different thing of optimizing.
Yep.
So everybody wants to maximize, but the maximum is in very few places the optimum.
Hmm. Yeah.
And so I cannot work with those people, but those who really want to be a fulfilled life, be aligned with what they truly are. So I'm not changing everyone. Nobody's broke out there. I'm more or less taking parts away from you which are not yours.
Yep. Yep.
So everybody is already good. And what I realized that a lot of these successful people have built like multiple walls in front of them to protect them. The
That's very
status,
true. Yes. Yep.
the status, and then what they can do, the skill sets,
Yep.
and the money, and what they're
The
thinking,
cars and the house
and
and
everything.
all. Yeah.
And it's good to protect you because you needed this when you're younger or you were insecure or you wanted
Yeah.
to have the biggest wars around. That's good.
Hmm.
But at a
Yeah.
certain moment, you need to realize that you're prisoner in your own prison.
Yeah.
And then as you start tearing these walls down, you become free. And then success becomes so easy. You
Mm.
can increase your success in business. You can improve your success with your partnership, with the kids, with your family, with your community, because nothing can stop you anymore, because you don't need the wars anymore. The wars
Love it.
which protect you are also hiding you and holding you back. And when you realize this, it's like getting this awareness, realizing it's the first step of changing it. And then
Yeah.
step by step, slowly, it doesn't need to these big changes. They don't work even. We always say this is starting of every year. We want to make these big changes, and before end of January, we've forgotten about them.
Right. Right.
It doesn't
Yeah.
work. But these tiny little changes, day by day, continuous changes, this is where everything gets magic.
Wow. So the clarity flow system that you have, it's central to the work that you do. So you're focusing on clarity for decision making and flow, for sustained performance that also integrates your life in it. So can you break it down? Like, how does it integrate body, mind, and soul to help the leaders overcome these limiting beliefs or prevent burnout? Or even, we're thinking about these teams, how does it enhance team dynamics?
Now, for the individuals, it's like I have this 4-level mastery level
Yeah.
because everybody wants to be a master after hour one. It
Hmm.
doesn't work. So I say, be kind to yourself. The first
Okay.
step is just being aware
Yeah.
that you have this limiting belief. The next step is just after something happens and you have this limiting belief, say, maybe I could rethink it. Is this really true? Is this always true? How do I know that it's true? And often people realize, I say that I cannot do this and I'm not good in that. Yes, but in your past life, you showed that you can do it.
Hmm.
You had the solutions, you
Yeah.
overcome obstacles, and then they realize, oh, it's not really true. It's just
Right.
something I keep telling me myself over years,
Yeah.
and I can stop doing it. It's just a decision. And then you start thinking differently, the next level in good, easy situations, and is already doing easy situations. And then the final step is you can do it all the time, even in tough situations where you're stressed, where you're anxious, you can shift yourself. So, and people who realize that they don't have to do this whole 180-degree shift at once,
Mm.
but they slowly can go into, like everybody of us learned how to drive a car. It wasn't that we are going on a highway on first moment and
Yeah.
driving in multiple lanes and in an area where we didn't know the directions, right? Now we can do because we all spent thousands of miles on the roads.
Hmm.
But at the
Yeah.
beginning, so I just want to stay on the road. No, I don't need
Yeah.
nothing. So this is
Right.
what we start. So
Yeah.
be kind to yourself. And helps the people so much. And this is where the big shift comes. I call it maybe ripple effect, because if you change, the outside changes automatically because it responds to you.
Hmm.
If you're secure, you don't need to pretend to be something because you know
Right.
you can do it. You know you're
Yeah.
good as like you are. You can be more kind to other people. And then your team isn't that fearful, likes to collaborate. We will promote them to the best being they can be and
Yeah.
show them what they can improve. And then they will love to work to you. You will never have problems to find good people.
I
And
love
this
that. I
is,
think, yeah. I think so this our audience is really geared towards the newer generations of leadership coming up. And I think that point right there that you just made was really important because this holistic approach is really key to working in this high pressure environment. And if you can kind of ground yourself as a leader, people will want to work for you and they'll walk through fire for you. Would you agree with
exactly.
that? Yeah. Yeah.
And this is what I learned the hard way during project management.
Hmm.
Leadership is something that starts in you.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
result is outside, but it has to start within you.
So
This is,
I'm going to ask you a question. Do you have any stories of where you brought someone that was kind of broken or burnt out through this system and that really changed them? Do you have any stories?
oh yes, I have multiple stories. And for
Just
me,
give me one. Just give me one. Just one.
this is what motivates me. The people come in with hanging shoulders, insecure, and
Yeah.
with this smile and this shiny eyes afterwards. I like this shiny eyes. I'm addicted to these shiny eyes. This is what
Yeah.
I'm motivated to. So there was one person who was in high corporate level, and she said, I'm good in what I'm doing, but I don't know whether it fits to me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And the colleagues at the same level were bullying her, and the board was not seeing her.
Mm-hmm.
And then we realized that she doesn't need to become somebody else. She needs to remember who she truly is. And many of us have these limiting beliefs from our childhood, either from the family or from school or both of it. it's natural. Most of us have them because it was like society worked until now, unfortunately, that I'm bigger than you in holding you small.
Right.
And they don't realize that you're growing if you pump up the others. So it's another way approach. And
Yeah.
then in the first step, it is stabilizing, knowing that she's good as she is and showing her what she's really good at and what she's exceptional at. And then
Mm.
shifting these limiting beliefs to these amplifying beliefs,
Yeah.
because it's just the same method. It's your daily thinking. If your
Yep.
daily thinking, am I good enough? Is different as, yes, I'm good enough. It's shifting the whole energy. And then the energy shifts, the
Yeah.
shoulder goes back, the head is higher, the voice is strong, and then everything shifts. Suddenly,
Yeah.
the board sees her, and suddenly colleagues which tried to bully her cannot bully her anymore because she doesn't care anymore.
Right. Yep.
And
Yep.
then they stop and they find another victim. That's the funny thing. They always need a victim. They find
Right.
another one. If you're
Hmm.
not a victim anymore, they go for another one. It's not about
Yeah.
you. It's about them. They need it because they are worried inside as well. It's
Yeah.
their way to deal with it. And this is happening all the time.
So that you're spot on right there. That the people will pick on the person that's most vulnerable, and when you kind of like, no, I'm not that person anymore, they move on. And so I think, in reading some of the things that you had written in our intake, and obviously you and I have had several conversations, and we know each other pretty well. Emotional intelligence is really woven into your process, that self-awareness as well as the social awareness. How do you use like this emotional intelligence to foster that self-awareness in leaders, helping them to make better decisions and to, create that team that wants to work with you? What tools or exercises do you have in the clarity flow?
The tools and exercise I do is that first, as I told, leading starts within you. So I teach
Mhm.
people to be emotional intelligent with themselves,
Okay.
because many try to be empathetic with others and
Right.
try to read their minds and give them and do for them and do them, but it doesn't help anybody. You just
Yeah.
run out of energy and burn out finally at the
Hmm.
end.
Yeah.
Many people, good people, extraordinary great people are givers, but they need also to learn how to take. And
Yeah.
this is the mind shift. You are good enough. Be loving yourself. Start loving yourself. This, the great exercise I do, and this is everybody can do. Every morning when you get up and go into the bathroom, there's usually a mirror, right?
Yeah.
And then you see somebody. And you know what I didn't, when I was avoiding myself, I didn't look at myself for maybe 3, 4 years. I was looking into the mirror, but I didn't watch myself. So I needed to learn this again myself. But watch into your eyes, see who's looking at you, and say, I'm the best thing which happens to me this day. I fully love myself without any exceptions. And the first day might be a little bit awkward,
Yeah.
but after a week, it starts to getting, yes, you're right. That's true. That's me. And then
I'm
finally,
gonna try that. I'm gonna
yes.
try that. It
And
might be, is it uncomfortable at first? It must be a little like,
but for some might be because you say, don't brag. Why should you? And these old questions which are having in our mind,
yeah,
we need to get rid of it. These are limiting beliefs.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if you accept yourself first,
Hmm.
then you can help others. It's like uh, if you are not good a swimmer, you cannot help somebody drowning in the ocean. Or
Right,
like in the airplane, they say the oxygen must first put on yourself. It's
right.
not egoistic in the negative way. It's
Hmm.
just you need to get on a higher energy level so you
Yep,
can help others. You
yep.
cannot be a good leader if you're bad energy shape. And does this make sense? I don't know whether this works out. whoa, why are we here? Everything is
Mm,
going down. But if you're full of energy and seeing solutions where others just see problems, it's like, I don't know how we work it, why we managed so many things in the past. We can do
yeah.
this again. Let's go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is where people follow if you are going ahead,
Yeah.
not if you say
Yeah.
you have to do it. This is not a leader.
Great. Yeah.
You need to walk the talk. If you're not confident,
So,
why should your employees do it?
right. So let's think about the younger professionals coming up. So with this clarity flow and with this combination of work, spirituality, self-awareness, emotional intelligence. So when you're working with younger leaders or for those that are out there listening right now, how does when you emphasize life's meaning, like what you were saying, I want to be there on my kid's birthday, not on the Sunday before or the Sunday after. How does emphasizing life's meaning prevent early burnout and promote like a long-term engagement in your work?
Well, I was lucky because I had all these checks in my life already.
Yeah,
So my bucket list was pretty well done. I was still
yeah,
feeling void inside, but it was not that hard to me to shift because
yeah,
young professionals always want to show they're capable, they're good, they're diligent, they're everything, they're motivated, they can do it. Everyone wants to show it, and that's good. Do it.
yeah.
But really think, are you enjoying in sense of really liking what you're doing?
Mhm. Okay.
You know, if you're doing a job if you don't like to get some skill or to get a lot of money or to be seen or whatever status, that's okay. But think that's for only a certain amount of time.
Right. Yep.
Like when you need a job to pay the bills, it's good that you maybe work at McDonald's and giving out the burgers or something for a limited amount of time. But
Hmm.
shift. And also with the relationship, it's the same. Don't stay in a relationship, just not, you have to go to the cinema alone.
Yeah.
That's not worth it.
Right. Yeah. It's funny.
So
I've got a 28-year-old daughter, and she's got a lot. She's climbing the ladder, doing her thing in corporate, and she's thinking about marriage and kids, and that's it's just such a hard shift to make. But and the conversations have been, does she have them, or does she not? And me personally, I'm like, I couldn't imagine not having kids, but whatever you decide to do, it's your path. Um, but I think it's hard for young people to like look at that and make that decision.
it is. So for me, I would continuously circle back and ask the question, does this really matter to me? Because
Yeah.
life changes, you know.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's important to you to be the biggest guy or girl in every party. That's good when you're young, but not when
Yeah.
you're 50 years old, you know. So there's a time for everything, but you
Yeah.
can shift. You don't need to be straight on. And
Yeah.
if you feel something deep inside, don't listen to the outside. It's
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah.
Because
Exactly.
at the end of life, this is what I really
Yeah.
helped me a lot answering these questions. People never regret what they did,
Hmm.
but always what they didn't.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Let's go a
So,
little bit
and
deeper. Oh, go
yeah,
ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
so no, let's go deeper. I like to go deeper. Let's dive in.
For the high achievers out there that are facing stagnation, when we think about your system, how does your system help to promote flow states? So you're kind of in this stuck place, and then you go through your system, like then they get into flow and get innovate. They become more innovative or more productive. How does your system help with that?
The first error, which most people do, they think they need more. They need to
Hmm.
push harder, to be more consistent, to have an additional skill, and then book additional webinar, additional course, additional class, do more, and
Yeah.
push. Doesn't work. We are talking about complex systems. You need to understand the system
Yeah.
and where to turn the points. It's not pushing harder. Never worked. Because
Right.
just get the patterns out there. The most successful people, sports, culture, business, everything you can think of it, they're always relaxed. They're always happy. They are having fun. So they're not saying,
Right.
I need to do, more. No, this is the wrong approach. You're drowning in energy yourself. If you need to push. This is where you get into this flow state,
Yeah.
But now the question is, how do I get there? Yeah, this is where the alignment comes in. If you're stagnating, really think, is this it? I'm in the right job. Sure, the money is great, the status is great, everything is perfect. For me, it was easy. I'm a manager in a corporate. I have this car, I have computer, I have a cell phone, I have everything, a lot of money, and can say, oh yeah, I work at Siemens. Oh yeah, cool guy. But at the end of the day, when you're alone at home, does it matter to you?
Mm.
And that's why they're stagnant, because they don't like it anymore. They don't find the energy anymore. Because
Right.
if the thing what you love, what you really truly love, no, you're unstoppable. And maybe it's taking away something, even stepping down 1 or 2 steps, or doing something completely different. This is what I learned from many people who went through burnout.
Yeah. Yeah.
They lost their
Yeah.
job, they lost the relationship, they lost their family, they lost the money, they lost everything.
Yeah.
But they had a fulfilled life afterwards. They reinvented themselves. You don't need to get through burnout. You can do it before.
Mhm.
Just maybe go to nature. Nature is so great. Make a walk through the woods, reconnect, leave your cell phone at home, don't listen to music, don't be distracted,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
walk a quarter of the speed which you usually walk. So you have to reduce the speed of your walking. You're not
Yeah.
going from A to B, you're just walking towards. And
Yeah.
then your mind can calm down. And all these perfect things in the air, which are in nature and wood, helps you to reconnect. And
Mm.
then if you do it, let's say once a month, that's great. If you do it once a year, even okay. You don't need to do it every day and hug the trees. You don't need to do that. You can if you like.
Yeah.
And then you come down and then ask your question, is this it? Because most people wake up at 3:47 a.m. and asking this question, is this it?
All
So this
right.
is not a fault. It's just a signal. Follow the signal.
Interesting. So this is a great conversation. So when you think about that, so if you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to take a walk, I'm going to get in the woods, I'm going to kind of like get grounded, and I'm going to really focus on my own self leadership and my own thing. Is there a trend that you're seeing out there in personal development that, young people and leaders can kind of go towards, helping them to be more soul integrated, in their day to day? Is there some trend you're seeing?
Yes, I think it's a trend towards personal honesty.
Hmm.
People start to realize, I think people before realized that's not it. I say, yes, but this is my picture. How I show up in society. I cannot
Yeah.
change. What would the others say? And people are not that scared anymore. So
Mm.
they're starting to becoming more vulnerable because they see vulnerable people are not weak. They're the opposite. They're
Yeah.
bold. They're strong because
Hmm.
being so reflective to understand that you're vulnerable and show that is just a huge step. It's the first step of mastery. It's awareness.
Yeah.
And I think being honest and searching and going and doing might already help. Just in case you're looking for a coach, always check, is the coach where I want to be in
Yes.
a few years?
Yeah.
Because if the coach has a broken marriage, if the coach has no business, if the coach is not healthy. Each coach is not full of energy. It's not the right coach. It's selling your technique. It's a good
So,
salesman.
so true.
But
So true.
you know,
Yeah.
you can buy all this fancy stuff like you buy a handbag or you buy a car, you buy the latest sports equipment because you need
Yeah.
it. That's okay. But won't bring you forward.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because I was a personal trainer for, I don't know, 15 years. I owned a fitness center for 7, and I never hired personal trainers who were out of shape because, there were many that came in and they were certified. I'm like, but you don't inspire anybody. Like, I didn't say that to them, but I was like, you know, I don't know. I don't. That you're not my goal. Kind of thing. So I think that's fascinating. So I have one last question, and then we're going to go into a rapid fire segment that I'll tell you about in just a minute. So for leaders listening right now, for people that are like loving what you're having to say, which I love what you have to say, but can you give them some way to some tips on it, or some steps to take that will help them to get focus on clarity and that flow for well-being? Is there anything the steps that they could take, this quarter to kind of get started on this journey?
Yes. I know everybody is busy. Busy is not always productive, but we are busy and we don't have time.
Hmm.
But you can make it like what I like, the small steps you can integrate in your daily life. Like you have these daily rituals, but you can change them a little bit. So, for example, when you cross the door of your apartment, of your house, this could be a trigger to think, what does truly matter to me? What I'm happy to have today? When
Hmm.
you come back, the same. When you come back, what worked great? What was I happy? What I'm thrived to do more? Because I really love it. And what is maybe it's just triggering you. If you can block half an hour to come down and make a walk in the park or whatever, instead of eating some shitty food because you in the phone and in the computer and the Zoom call all at the same time.
Yeah.
Find the time for yourself because the most successful people aren't doing more. They're doing less. It's about
Hmm.
prioritization. But you only can prioritize if you have the clarity. You only can have clarity if you know what truly matters to you. This
Right.
is where everything starts. This is down the system. What does truly matter? And then if you realize there's needs some adjustments, you start little tiny adjustments here, tiny You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to leave your spouse. You don't have to move to
Yeah.
another city. Tiny adjustments and integrate it. And in the morning, be friendly to yourself, love yourself. And when you're brushing your teeth, you have 2 minutes for you anyway.
So I was thinking this morning about, like, so my husband changed shifts. So he went from second shift to first shift, and we have these chickens where the door doesn't open until 7:30 in the morning. And my husband is always taking care of the chickens. So now it's my responsibility to go in and feed the girls so we get our eggs. And this morning and this is my third day of doing the chicken, and I love it actually. And I was putting on his flannel shirt this morning, and I put on my chicken boots to go into the chicken pen. And I was thinking to myself, how lucky am I? Like, this is actually really fun to do. And so instead of looking at it as being a chore, I look around my house and I see my cat who's very mean and my dog who's so sweet. And I'm like, I have a really great life. And I think there's a lot of times we don't take those small moments for granted. We take them for granted. We don't really recognize them. So, I kind of wanted to share that story for some reason.
That's so
I'm not sure
strong. That's
why.
so strong. I love that.
Um, so I love the fact that, we're talking about all of this, really embracing your life and all, and just really to get clarity, to be a leader that people want to follow. And we have this segment in our podcast, which is kind of a rapid fire question. So I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I don't want you to think too hard about the answers. Just what's the first thing that pops to your mind? Are you ready for that challenge?
Ready.
Okay, good. Awesome. 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 So, what is one limiting belief that leaders should just get rid of?
You're not good enough.
Love that. Is there a tough, like, what would you say has been your toughest emotional journey that you've guided, that you've helped somebody through?
Being financial broken that you don't know how to survive the next month and being confident again.
Ooh, we could dive into that, but I'm not going to because this is rapid fire, but that's pretty good. Uh, what's a daily practice for mind, body, soul alignment?
I would say what you were saying before, gratitude. And not gratitude for the big things that you were promoted, but for the small things that you have running water, you have a bed, you have a house. The daily things, the not seen things. If your gratitude for them, everything shifts.
Love it. Love it. If every person mastered one of your clarity flow system element, what one element of your system, what would you want them to master?
To look at themselves and love themselves and seeing
Mm.
who they truly are.
So that mirror, so that 2 minutes in the mirror, just getting in there. I love that. I am going to try that. I'm going to text you and let you know how that goes for me. Um, if there, so what's a, if you're thinking about like a dream client type of client that you would love to lead through transformation, is there a situation or scenario that would be like, I would love to lead somebody through this to get to here?
Yes, interestingly, I have good results with women and I can work better with women because for me, the women are always struggling between career, family, and relationship. And
Yeah.
they deliver 120% and are not happy that it wasn't 125. So
Mm.
freeing them, this is what I really love that because there's so much power in women.
I love that. That's amazing. That's amazing. That's so true, actually. Really, the perfectionist is uncanny, really. I want to thank you today. So we are wrapping up another episode of the People Profit Podcast. If Evo's holistic insights inspired you, again, please like, subscribe, share, and follow this podcast. And please tag a leader that's seeking some deeper fulfillment. Ivo, can you tell our audience how to connect with you and explore the Clarity Flow system?
Yes, the best thing is that you follow me on LinkedIn. The best thing to connect, it's at Ivo Knoll. It's very easy. And
Yeah.
the only difficult part for English speaking, it's Ivo is IVO, not, it's different
Okay.
because I'm German. So
Yeah.
this is the only difficult part, but Ivo Knoll in
Great.
LinkedIn is the best way to connect with me. And then we maybe have
Awesome.
a clarity call and clarify whether it works for you and with me or whether not.
I love it. And we will make sure that the links are all below to the coaching, the your coaching.com, knollcoaching.com. We'll make sure we have that in the links as well below. So Ivo, to our audience, reach out today to Ivo. He is just one of the most genuine people you'll ever have a conversation with. I've had the pleasure of giving him a hug and talking with him over the last year or so. So he's just wonderful. And leaders, remember, true profit flows from aligned minds and souls. I'm Sandra Coker. See you next time. Thanks so much, everybody. Thanks, Ivo.
Thank you, Sandra.